Hello one and all, I am Games and welcome to something slightly different from what I normally do. I was thinking, how would I do a format like this? And I think it's probably best to call this a very loose afterthought in terms of it being a review of a game which is in early access. Now, it's a card game, which is mainly why I'm okay with doing this, because the bare mechanics of it are likely not to drastically change. I'd imagine it's mostly going to be balancing of cards and just mainly just enhancing certain features within it, like animations and such. It's very much going to be in a similar vein to how Hearthstone did its kind of beta and such, I would imagine. The game in question is March of War Face Off, which is based on March of War, the strategy game, by ISOTX. I believe the same company is doing it, but they're two different development houses from what I could gather from the devs, who are very active in the world chat, as you can probably see here. But there's always someone there, it would seem. I've been playing this for a couple of days, hit bits and pieces of it. It's free, so you know, I don't really cover free games a lot of the time, but this is like my current jam. Like, I've been wanting to play a really interesting card game other than Hearthstone for quite a while now. I've had a few failed attempts at this with games like Nightbanes, which ended up being worse than they actually were, which was a real shame. So we'll just throw up the settings for anyone interested. It's very basic, really. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I don't know how many language options there are. There's 2 currently. Obviously, you know, they could add more there, but I suppose that's kind of a quality of life thing for non-English speakers. Let's move on to other areas, really, and show off what the game has to offer. So currently the game has 2 factions, Alliance and Republic, as well as this you obviously have your neutral cards. It has a crafting system just like Hearthstone, and it even uses the same terms. So I did recommend to the devs earlier today that, you know, it'd be really cool to have terminology which better suits the army theme, like have recruit for your craft and a word like decamp or abandon for your kind of get rid of a card term. So I've created like classes outside of the your actual, I should say, your standard decks you're given. Let's just go over the currency, because obviously that's going to be a main worry for players. You know, if you see a free-to-play card game, is this a fair game? And in this case I would say it is. Now, it's 500 gems for a, like, your gems are your basically your real game currency, and your gold, which, well, that's what I'm going to call it, is gold, is what you gain in game. Now let's just show off how much you're going to have to pay for a pack. It's £1.50 for a pack, which I think is very fair if you want to pay for the game. Obviously, the more you buy in terms of bulk, obviously the more you're going to the more benefit you get from that. Whereas pack-wise, you may see 2,000 gold and think, that sounds like quite a lot to have to earn. Is this fair? Now, each pack does contain 5 cards. I should just throw that up there. So 2 are bronze or better. So the rarity system is bronze, silver, gold, and I think there's a common. I think there's also a common. I'm not sure. I think that's how it works. I've got to be honest, some games don't have a really defined rarity system, and this game has just basically an outline. I'll show off the cards now in PvE. So we'll go with First Alliance. You basically get to pick your opponent's class. They are planning on adding more classes. I asked about this, and they have got 4 classes, other classes they can draw on based on the March of War game this is based on. Now, the mechanics of this game was what was really intriguing to me, because it's a game what kind of takes little things from other games like Hearthstone. I mean, that's obviously going to be a comparison most people make, you know, to other games. because it's kind of a really popular one at the minute, and a really accessible one. Now, it does have the kind of, they call it manpower in this game. It's basically your mana, and each turn you'll gain an extra one. But I don't believe that there's a cap in this game, from what I can tell. It goes way past 10. And the way you deal damage to your, or win in this case, the win scenario is you make your opponent go down to 0. Now, you'll see these numbers here from 1 to 5. Now, when you're in this area, so the enemy wants to get into this orange zone, they can deal damage. So if they've got 1 unit here, it does 1 times 1. If they've got 2, it'll be 2 times 1. And it goes all the way along, so you could end up with 3 units potentially over here, which would be 5 times 3, and that would do 15 damage. Now, obviously your health is 20, so you're likely to have died before that scenario hits. We're going to play this, I suppose. And we are equally doing the same thing, but with this green area down here. Now, in terms of graphically, it doesn't look that nice, I'll be honest. It could look a lot better. Graphics are one of the issues I have with it. However, luckily, graphics aren't everything, and I can happily look past that in this case. The game doesn't utilise any draw power as far as I can tell from everything I've seen. So that's an interesting thing to see out of mechanic not present. But talking to the devs, they said they had 1 card what does, but I couldn't find it myself. Now, to be honest, I probably didn't need to do that, but I did. So I could give them... Okay, I can give my own shield if I want to. I can play a tank. Let's play a tank. And we will end there, I think. We could move ours forward. At the minute they're obviously doing damage to me, which is a real problem. I don't think I should have picked this deck, to be honest. It's a horrible deck I picked. It seems like I'm going to get crippled pretty heavily here. So we're going to try and take these guys on. Apparently you can't even attack in this direction, so that's something I should have took into account. So each card has a direction it can move and a radius it can move, as well as its movement per turn and a health. That's all the things you need to be looking at. I suppose I can get away with this card. We shall move this forward 1, which also is going to cost to do that. So it's important to take that into account. Now, your attack of your character is not took into account based on what damage it's going to do per turn. It's only about the unit number you've got. So there's obviously going to be cards what allow you to just directly do damage rather than just minions, to use a term from Hearthstone. So luckily it let me get away with that, which was unexpected. That's good, because I can now take something out. And we will do that, because that's going to allow us to take out another minion, unless he moves that down there. At the very least, it's allowed me to not take as much damage this turn. It seems that we're going to have to wait until the late game for us to do a lot. So it would seem that this turn we want to start taking control of the game with some tanks. Because I think this deck's very reliant on the heavy stuff rather than the early stuff, and it would have probably been better for me to have shown off a deck what's more kind of balanced. But I've decided not to. And I've realised that this cannot attack directly, so it's going to die. I couldn't do much about that. Oh, it can. It does retaliation damage, maybe? Or is that a totally different minion altogether? I've lost track. It's quite bad of me to have done that. This does... this is probably not the best card. However, I shall use it, because it may be of some use. So what I can tell is these cannot move, and I don't think they can do damage either while they're disabled. So he's going to try and do some direct damage here. I'm going to put that to the test, I think. What would be a good play here? I think I'll play another Panzer, as that will allow me to take more control of the game and allow me to have another unit. Let's just talk about something I haven't, which is some of the effects of the card. So fast allows you to move without cost. Slow will make you have to do the opposite, where you have to. It's a cost of 2 rather than 1 manpower per movement. Apparently, disable was a 1-turn thing, it would seem. So, can't do much here, except for do our movements for free. We shall disable this, I think. That's an ally-based ability. We shall move ours forward 1 to allow us to take out that. He now has the ability to move this up or this across to try and do some more damage to it. But this is going to allow us to do a lot of damage. The computer's actually giving me quite a challenge here. And this is actually going to allow me to take it, allow him to take it out. I mean, I believe I get a retaliation? No, I don't, because it was disabled. Something I didn't remember, and I probably should have. Looks bad on me. So I'm going to buff this up by 1. And then I'm going to use this ability to be able to actually get in range of attack. And then I have a choice of what I want to do next, so I think I'm going to boost this up to 2 health. And play a Jeep, which is going to be able to also move for free. Take a bit more damage. Now obviously he's worried about that, so he's going to try and do something about it. I don't think this has a radius, so I should be able to... Oh, I forgot, counter-attack is there, so it's going to do extra damage. So that made it a lot easier, actually. That can attack in any direction. Can mine? No. So moving it would be quite a risky play. So I think what we'll do is buff this up. For some reason it won't let me do that. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure if it's because it isn't in range, or whether it's a 1-turn play. I think the best thing to do is just disable it so that we can move this and take it out without risk. And I can even give that a shield by just reducing its health by 1. Attack by 1, I should say. So as you can see, this game is it's longer pace than a normal game, I would say, because I made a bad deck. and I didn't think I did. And it's shocking, because I've been playing quite well. So the counter-attack's going to take it out, leaving very few. I mean, we've ended up in a longer game situation, which is good, because I get to show off what that looks like in actual gameplay. Now what I'm going to do is allow mine a buff, and I think we are going to play our siege tank. Can this attack in any direction? Only this way. So we'll move this across so we do even more damage. So we'll be doing 3 damage, 4 damage this turn if everything survives. Now I've made this pretty much protected because it's got a shield as well as 2 damage, which is quite good. But he's going to try and do some damage, it would seem. I think I get to prevent all damage this turn, which is good. Oh, this couldn't come at a better time, because what it does is 1 damage to an area of 2 times 2. Then I can move this up and do a sacrifice to ensure that everything gets taken care of. Move my... oh! It cannot move because it hasn't got, I haven't got any manpower to do it, I think. Or it just wouldn't move for some, because I might have moved it already and forgot. That's probably the reason, actually. So we do 3 damage, and I think this game's in the bag now. Okay, so for whatever reason it doesn't want to move. It could be that it's just a bug, I'm not sure. Or that I've done something wrong. I'll leave that where it is because it's safe damage, I think. And this should allow us to win after a very long-winded game. But it was good because it showed off the gameplay quite well in a long-winded scenario. He gets to do some damage there, but it won't make a difference to the fact that we win. So I hope that's given you a good idea of how the gameplay works. Some sort of mechanical complexities to how the game works, and just in general I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm going to be able to show you one of the ways that you gain gold. So you gain gold for leveling up. For every normal level it's 500 gold. I believe you gain 1,000 on your first win, 1,000 on your 10th levels. You can level up both classes, so Alliance and Republic, in the same way that you level up classes in Hearthstone. And the other way you gain gold is you have a daily objective, just like you can have a daily quest, and that will range in amounts you get. Like today it was 750, so if I'd have got to get another one, which is 750 tomorrow, I'll have that 2,000. So I think it's very fair. I mean, I've played it for, Steam says 3 hours, I think I played a bit more than that, but it could just be how many hours I played today, I'm not sure. But basically I've probably got about 4 or 5 packs I think I've opened from doing the amount of play I've done. So I think it's very fair. It's not pay to win at all, and I would highly recommend you check it out. Any big changes what happen in this game I will annotate over this, as it is early access. I want to just stress that again. So it's not the final product. They've obviously shown us here, obviously, but it's also, you know, they're calling it a beta. And so they seem really engaged and want to know people's feedback. As I said, they're constantly in the chat. And yes, check this game out, it's great, it's free. Also, before I go, I just want to mention they have a recommendation system, which I'll just show off here. It's not in the chat, it's here. And what you do is you can add a friend, and when you invite a friend to try the game, they receive 250 gems when they reach level 10, just from the recommendation system. So I would recommend, so if you would like, I can all you got to do this is obviously enter the email address. They see it, and I believe that they just have to accept it. I believe they get a code, in fact, and what you have to do here is you just redeem the code, and then it's as simple as that, and then you gain the bonus. And then the person you recommended to play the game also gets a bonus. I think they get 500 gold for doing it. So obviously I wouldn't mind if you want me to recommend you the game. Just leave your email address in the comments and I will send you a invite, and then you get the bonus. As well as obviously you can then go on and invite people, your friends list and such, and then they can get a bonus. But yeah, if you want a little extra to start you off in the game, I'm more than happy to do that. And other than that, thank you for watching, everyone, and goodbye.